So what were your initial thoughts when you first saw the trailer?
So for Captain America, I wasn't expecting a lot from it because the first trailer was good, but it was just like like okay, cool. I'm excited for a new Captain America movie, but that's about it. Like it wasn't really much to it, and of course, the stinger right at the end was the Red Hulk. So now we know the Red Hulk is in it, and again, that was one of those things where I was just like, you could have saved that for like just before the release of the movie, surprise people with it if anything. But you want to sell tickets, you want to get butts and seats, so of course you're gonna throw them in there now. So for the new trailer, I was highly surprised that there was a lot more action in it, and CGI looks better, and the action that was done, I'm really excited what they're gonna do with Sam Wilson's aerial combats with his wings. Like they really showcase that a lot with this trailer, and I was like, oh, okay, this is definitely a different Captain America movie. So I was really excited about what they're gonna do with his stuff. Yeah, he cuts a freaking car in half. The stuff that he does with the dog fighting and things, and he uses the shield in front of him, and then like the wings kind of encapsulated stuff there. Red Hulk looks badass. He doesn't look like a really bad CGI. Yeah, it's looking really really good, and it's looking like a military, like a militaristic like type movie too. Very very like I don't know, like Hunt for the Red October, or just or something like that.
It's interesting that you would say that because I got a combination of Clear and Present Danger
Yes.
with The Fugitive.
Yes, definitely. Of course, with what's his name in the movie, with
Yeah,
Harrison Ford.
yeah, especially with Harrison Ford. And then what was really interesting was the way how they designed this trailer. For some strange reason, I forgot that this was a Marvel movie
Yeah.
until we saw Red Hulk. Then I
Mm.
was like, oh, that's right, superheroes. I completely forgot. Like this could have easily been one of those political. It is. It's a political thriller, but a straightforward political thriller, where we don't know what we know, and as you know, we'll go and break down the trailer. Was kind of explain we're only given what we need to know in terms of from both the plot and only goes one side of the story because it's easy to see that somebody's getting played. We
Mhm.
just don't know who is playing whom. We can assume that it's the leader, but it could be something else. And so, kind of just diving right in here, what I love is kind of the opening, and it kind of calls back to we know that Isaiah Bradley was triggered. And
Mhm.
that's why he attacked everyone. It was like an address. It was all of the officials, the government officials, where Harrison Ford was giving a speech of basically of them finding, was it the vibranium or is it adamantium? I get the two
Uh,
confused.
they're finding adamantium now.
Adamantium on the Tiamat 2, I believe it's called.
Tiamat.
Tiamat. I was just throwing it. I was close. I was close. Um, but what I absolutely love with this scene, so we do know that he ends up attacking everyone, and he does end up getting arrested. And so what's interesting is we see this kind of clear cut version of him that we've seen in the beginning, but now we've seen him more of like the hair is completely different. It's kind of like this shaved on the side, and you can see there's an afro growing out of it almost, which is much different than, so we had like the polished version here
Yeah.
that we know of him, and then we have it here. So we know that he's been in there. It's to me for some time to get that amount of hair growth. So he's been in the prison for some time, and he asked, for Sam Wilson, and he says, "Oh, you want to help me and tell me everything that I need to know." And so what we assume, going by the trailer, is obviously this is trying to overtake the government. We do know that the vibrant adamantium is at play, but we just don't know what is going on, who's playing who, and it doesn't seem like we can trust anyone essentially. And I really like how they do that play where it's like, that split screen, because it seems to me it plays on like, here's this person's POV and another person's POV. And we don't know which one is which. So that, to me, I absolutely loved it. You okay?
Yeah.
You need some water?
Nah.
Okay. So yeah, no, I absolutely love that part. And then we got more action. What did you think of that suit? As we mentioned before, the car is cut in half. We saw in the previous trailer that they played in this trailer again, it seemed like the destruction of maybe the White House or the Capitol. It definitely looked like the White House building. So
They're
what were
always
your
going to
thoughts on
destroy
that?
stuff. They're always going to destroy stuff. And like any militaristic movie or something that involves a president or the military or whatever, like you're going to destroy government buildings. You're always gonna have that. But the action, yeah, like I said, the action looks great. I'm excited
Mhm.
for something different, like the hand-to-hand combat and all that stuff, and running and all the gun shooting and all that stuff. Yeah, we've seen it a billion times. Aerial combat, that's almost hand-to-hand in aerial combat. I mean, with his wings and everything, I'm hoping they'll do something cool with that, along with oh wow, I'm blanking on his name, but he's gonna have a sidekick pretty
Danny
much, and
Ramirez,
and
Falcon.
yeah, he's gonna play the Falcon, and I hope they do him justice as well with some good aerial combat and fighting with the wings. Um,
Mhm.
what else? Aside from that, yeah, just the action looks great. That's pretty much it.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
excited for
I
it.
completely agree as well. The action does look superb, but what was really interesting that caught my eye, because they didn't have this in the previous trailer. Red Hulk is something that is completely, for me, I assumed is completely against Harrison Ford's or Thaddeus will. We do see where there's an image. I can pull up the right one where he's talking about, do you ever ask yourself, is there something else at play? And you see how it says reset Ross, and what is it, reset Ross, reset America.
Yes.
So he's being controlled, and this is completely against his will. We see his eyes are like, not, that's the wrong one, are completely like in horror in a way.
Hmm.
He realized he's trapped. So this is completely, you know, against his will. And then that's when he turns into, we finally get the Red Hulk. So I didn't think that immediately. I didn't realize that he was going to be kind of the victim in this. Does that change things for you?
I don't like this change in story with the Red Hulk. Me as the comic book
Mhm.
fan, the comic book side of me says no. And that's mostly because like Ross hated this. I said this before. We said it a long time ago when we talked about the preview for the Captain America,
Mhm.
the teaser for the Captain America trailer. I I I wish this was a Hulk movie, if you're
Mm.
gonna add the Red Hulk, because the Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross, he hated the Hulk, he hated Bruce Banner so much, and he turned himself into the Hulk purposely to be strong enough to like handle him, and he had other stuff going on as well. But he was technically controlled by the leader in the comics as well. So I just don't like that his motive, there's no motivation for him. It's all just like he's a puppet and that's it. I don't like that change, but I mean it still works. I'm not I'm not gonna see the movie because of that. It's still,
Yeah.
I still think it's an interesting twist to it. But I don't know how I feel about it, because what worries me about that kind of plot twist, that he's being controlled, is that in the end of the movie we're not going to have a Red Hulk anymore. Like, he's going to be cured, or he's never going to turn into the Red Hulk because the leader was defeated at the end of the movie, or whoever it might be. So it's just like that's what kind of worries me. Like I want to see more Red Hulk, and eventually a Red Hulk with the Hulk. Um but hopefully they won't fumble on that in the end.
Do you feel that both things can happen at the same time? We can have the hatred, and then we can also have the control.
Yes.
Because there is a lot of tension that we see in the trailer between Sam and Thaddeus, where it comes, you're not Steve Rogers. And it's like, is that because he's a black man? What's going on? So there is that tension. You could argue that sense of he is losing the government if their super soldiers are randomly being triggered. I don't know if this will get more of the Skrulls. I tried to look really closely. There is a scene where there's a guy who is shooting into a door, like the door's open, but I couldn't tell whether or not he switched because it cuts, and I couldn't tell if that was the same person. But I was just wondering, like, if you have Skrulls that are introduced, because this seems to be very much connected to Secret Invasion, or maybe they just completely forgot everything about Secret Invasion.
You should.
It was like, oh, it said Reset America. Maybe it's also Reset, Marvel Universe. We're gonna just forget that. That goes along in the closet with Ant-Man to never be seen again.
And the Inhumans.
Oh my God! Now we got the Red Hulk. What were your opinions? Because I thought he looked much better than what we've seen previously. Because it was a mess before.
I think he looks like Harrison Ford. That's pretty much it. I don't think he looks like the Red Hulk from the comics. And yes, he doesn't have to be, but he looks like a big juiced up Harrison Ford. So I'm not crazy about his look, but his physique is right. I think everything looks, the CGI looks great because I think it looks realistic enough. So I think it looks great. It's just his face. The face is what bothers me because it's Harrison Ford's face.
Ooh, I completely agree. I understand what you're saying, but CGI-ish, it looks better.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Wouldn't you want it to look like Harrison Ford? Because if you look at Hulk, or at the Hulk that we got with the last Hulk movie, because the other ones, they did not look like their actors. Oh God, now I'm blanking on the actor's name.
Edward Norton.
Who played? Oh no, the other one. Today's
Eric
one.
Bana. Oh, today's one.
No,
Mark Ruffalo.
Mark. So Mark looks like his Hulk, vice versa. No? So I think that, like, I don't know, like, comic book wise, are they supposed to be vastly different? But I would assume that you're supposed to look like you, but just a Hulk version.
Well,
no?
I mean, in the comics, and again, you don't have to follow the comics exactly. So, in the comics, when Bruce Banner wants to turn into the Hulk, he looks very different. It, like, facially, he doesn't look like Bruce Banner. He looks like the Hulk. He has, depending on who the artist is, of course, because every artist, every series, the art style and the look is going to be different. But mostly Bruce Banner looks very different from the Hulk, and I get that with the movies you want it'll make more sense that way. And yes, I do understand that you have Harrison Ford acting as Thaddeus, so you want the Red Hulk to look like Thaddeus as well, or Harrison Ford. That makes complete sense to me. What bothers me is just it's Harrison Ford, it's Indiana Jones, it's Han Solo. Like that I can't imagine him as anything else. So I just see Harrison Ford. Whereas like the man, rest in peace, the one that passed away who was recently, Thunderbolt Ross, I think he would have been great with it, like especially with his look and the mustache and like the hair that he had. There was online, people online who are posting up like their fan casting, and they had better picks that I would honestly prefer rather than Harrison Ford. When it comes to like the looks department, I think there are some people that look better than Harrison Ford to be more comic accurate, but we got what we got. Like it's jarring for me just because I see Indy and Han Solo, but it's not like a make or break for the movie.
Well, if I had to sit through that horrible last Indiana Jones movie with him just being a CGI character. I think they're at least doing better justice here because
Yeah.
that was traumatizing. It was bad, at least for me. I know a lot of people like, oh my god, but I did not like it at all. And to me, I kind of like the fact that he is still Harrison Ford. Who would have
Hmm.
thought Harrison Ford? Like, I think he's like almost 80,
Hmm.
maybe older.
Yeah, he's a
Just
superhero
when
now.
he's a superhero. He's been Indiana Jones, and now he's a superhero. It's just I don't know his age. Now I'm wondering. But no. Another question that I have for you is, what do you feel about the word "reset America"? What do they want? Because you kind of more have knowledge from the comic book of what that means.
I really don't, honestly. I feel like
Mhm.
it's probably just a motivation that the leader or whoever the villain is, because I'm assuming the leader is the main villain, and
Yeah.
Giancarlo's character is probably just another puppet or like a side character or someone that's helping the leader. I don't think Giancarlo's character is gonna be the main villain, but I could be wrong. Um, but I feel like the reset is just a motivation that the main villain has, maybe in the vein of just like, you know how like Wakanda, they have vibranium, they almost have control of all
Mhm.
vibranium in the world, so they're a superpower nation. So I feel like they're trying to make America again a superpower nation with this fight for adamantium,
Mm.
which by the way
Okay.
is stronger than vibranium.
Ooh, shot fired. Ah, but that should be interesting because it is basically they're trying to set a world war over this. So some countries start falling, some leaders start falling, and that's it's interesting if it was just over vibranium. I wonder if it's come something more than like Hulk as the leader. You know, that should be interesting. But
Mm,
I did love this. I thought it was very strong. Again, as we said it before, that political thriller. And I don't it didn't feel like we've seen anything like this in the MCU before. Even in its heyday, we never really got political thriller. Even with Secret Invasion, rest its soul, it never felt really, that strong. There was a lot of, I mean, we don't get to this movie without Secret Invasion, especially with that ending. But, this one clearly felt like it was more, I don't know how to explain it. Like it knew its purpose and it had a goal,
mhm.
where at times Secret Invasion felt like it was all over the place.
I agree.
So, and again, I don't know. I have not seen this movie at all. It could suck. But what it looked like, it looked good. So I completely agree. So then, I agree with myself.